Okay, Shay, we got one of your infamous Shayna brain dumps on the way to High Point a couple weeks ago, shooting out tons of ideas as you had them as you're driving and vibing. So one of the things that you shot out was creating opportunities. What does that mean to you, and what is that conversation?
I know. I was in the car, and you know me. I'm either long car rides or showers. My brain just is like takes off on me. So there's so many things around this I want to say, but I feel like we have a lot of designers out there questioning, like taking the leap. They might be wanting to open their business, or they're working for someone and they're doing it on the side. And then you have those in business who are trying to create or find leads. You know, how do I bring business into the company? And then you have this kind of third bucket of you've got loads of, business isn't the issue, but maybe life isn't feeling 100% great. And there's kind of a shift. And for me, it was really just all coming down to, you creating your own opportunity. So this was us driving to High Point. I'm there and I'm kind of like giving myself the pep talk. Like, we're going out there to create our own opportunities right now for the next pathway of this company. We obviously are doing that with the podcast and really starting to talk about all the lessons and everything we've learned. But we're in that next shift, that kind of third bucket. That's like, what is our next move? There is so much opportunity out there, possible partnerships, possible alignments. So many directions for us. So that was really exciting. So I thought that was a really good conversation to bring this all the way back to how we create from the start, our own opportunity, how partnerships have been crafted, how leads start genuinely funneling in, which I feel like is such a hot topic for you, Evelyn, with people coming in and wanting marketing services and just having such a falsified impression of what the starting opportunity is, how you genuinely create it. So I want to be asking you a bunch of questions about kind of breaking that norm. But yeah, I just thought it was something that a little bit of positivity and a lot of noise these days. Let's just talk about how you can be the change for your life, for your business, for all of it. So those were my initial nuggets on the topic.
Yeah. All right, cool. Take us away.
Yeah. So, well, let's start with you, Ev. So starting opportunity. I know that we have this, Facebook group community that we've been building. And one of our questions coming in is, do you own a business or do you want to be a business owner? Yeah. And what would you say the percentage is of those people, for have them and wannabes? I don't want that sounds like such a negative connotation to say you're a wannabe.
Soon-to-be's.
Soon-to-be. Yeah. That sounds so much better. Love that.
Yeah. I think we're probably 30% soon-to-be's.
30% soon-to-be's.
Yeah, because I think once you're really looking up and typing in like business resources for designers, group for designer business owners, like it does tend to draw those people that are looking for their community and the early thinkers, the forward thinkers of the soon-to-be's as well.
Yeah. And another thing that was so surprising to me when we were at High Point is learning that there are so many business owners that don't believe so strongly in themselves and their abilities. And I wonder if that has something to do with that kind of maybe soon to be, it's like comes down to the belief, but I think we can break that right now. And you got to start somewhere, So the first person to create the potential of all the opportunity is yourself, to just open it up and get started. Yeah. And then we're started. And then what would you say the biggest misconception is for your next steps?
I feel in this industry, a lot of the designer business owners like take this small crawl where they're doing something else and they take on one client. Or they kind of open their doors, but they're doing it part-time because their life is still doing something else. And then they don't really consider themselves that typing in that answer, yes, I'm a business owner of X years, until they've jumped in full time or until they have had multiple projects rolling at the same time, or until like it's always this feeling of like, that's when I'll feel established, or that's when I'll really feel like I can answer the question, check, yes, I'm a business owner. But if you're doing the damn thing, you're a business owner and you're just on a different stepping stone of the journey.
Yeah. So now I'm a business owner and I have a skill and a talent to design spaces, but I need clients.
Yeah.
And okay, so we get a lot of these, right? There's
And they're
all
gonna come
walks
and say,
of
it's my website. It's got to be my website. That's what I need to do first.
right.
Everything in marketing, I'll say good, better, best, pros and cons, weighing the options for sure. Your website only matters if someone finds it. The very first thing you need to worry about is how people are finding you. Yes, you want to have a website there so you look professional. You're well represented. You're proud of what they're seeing. This can be a landing page. This can be simple to start. The very first thing you need to worry about is how people are finding you, which is different conversation.
So you need the visibility. Obviously, we need a website.
A presence. You need a presence. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. There needs to be there. So really the opportunity starts with you.
With you. No one likes to hear it. It's you, yourself. You're your first marketing engine. It's within.
Yeah, it's within. Sorry, gotta be a hustler. Every day I'm hustling. There's a reason the song exists.
Steven, cue it up.
It's not getting deleted because it's true. And you're either going to thrive in it and find the joy and you're going to grow a business.
Yeah.
Or you're not. And there's a reason why you don't have leads, now the generator will begin. We'll talk about all the other opportunities that it leads into.
Your clients will become your second engine because those referrals start to come in, but you've got to be your first engine. Networking, being in your community, talking to the people that know your ideal client and just getting your name out there so that there's even people trying to find that website that you spent so much money and time on or whatever the case may be. And that's super, super important.
Yeah. You are the cheapest marketing vessel. I mean, time is valuable, of course, but it genuinely starts with you, boots on the ground, getting yourself out there. Learn how to speak about your business within 30 seconds, what you offer, what you do, what that value is, right? And if it's a business affiliate, asking for who you're looking to meet, which we'll get into, right? So it's not like, hey, go put yourself out there and go hustle and go knock door to door and be like, hey, my name is Shayna Rose and I'm an interior designer. Do you need help designing your home? That's not what I'm talking about. You are trying to connect with other people who are working with your potential client. You're trying to find the builders, the real estate agents, the professional organizers. Fun ones are the divorce attorneys if you're okay with high stakes and emotions, but the financial picture can be very clean and passed over in a very kind of short time frame.
And
so
here's
many
what I'll
ones.
say too, because as you do this more and more, you're going to be looking to branch out those options of who's important, who you can be talking to, who can provide value to you, and vice versa. So I kind of think of it as two different buckets. There's the timing and project matches, everything you just said, Shayna. A builder's a great networking connection because they're working with your clients at the time that they have a project. Real estate agents, divorce attorneys. Yes, bucket number one, very important. Those people are getting hit up by interior designers all the time because this is the game. You can also think on the other side of your value matches. These people might not be working with your client at the exact right time to make it a no-brainer, but they're working with your clients because of the things that your clients value. So let's just do an example. We have a client in LA who really does, VOC free, non-toxic, very health oriented interior design. And, we were doing that game, the realtors, the builders, all that stuff. We started reaching out to personal trainers, nutritionists, in-home chefs, people who are working with high net worth individuals who care about their health and wellness, who have a value match. And we were getting tons of responses because they don't have an interior designer in their back pocket, or they do see how there's a unique co-branding opportunity or things of that nature. So as you have to keep branching out what an opportunity looks like to you, that would be another kind of brainstorming challenge for yourself to think of what are those value matches, what's super important to your clients, and who are the other people in their circle.
Yeah. Now I'm going to add, I'm super glad that you were like, okay, well, these are all the common buckets, the contractor, the real estate agent, the people who are directly working with your client on that side.
Yeah.
And I always say, If they're successful, they already have a network, obviously, right?
Right.
Because they're successful. This was how I kind of broke the code in
Yeah. Yeah.
networking.
You can still crack your way
How
in,
I
find the
feel,
crack. Mm-hmm.
So really what you're looking to do in meeting one is your meet and greet. This is where you just present your services on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking to find out and what you're specifically asking them before you leave that meeting is, depending on who it is, what's your greatest challenge with working with your common client right now? Or you could say it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
If you could let go of one thing that drives you absolutely nuts, what would it be?
Yeah.
Because they have a network. You are trying to find the problem and solve the problem. That's how you crack the door open. You're not going to get what you want fully at first. But if they're the person who you can see a really great future of opportunity with, then you take the crack and you just kick it, and more problems will come your way. This is, I think I somewhat got into this on another episode when I talked about like the biggest first kind of business deal that I closed was all because I was just solving a problem. That's what it was. They had all of the support around them that they needed. They had current vendors doing everything that they needed. They were a successful staging business, but I was solving a problem. And so meeting one, meet and greet, ask the question. You're not solving in that meeting. You're just finding out if there is something that you can actually workshop. Meeting two, if you can, then you schedule that follow-up and you craft a couple deals loosely. Hey, I couldn't get off of my mind the last time you were talking about some of the challenges you were facing, and I think I can solve them for you. I would love to just throw a couple ideas out there and see what you think, right? If it's a contractor who hates getting, works with clients who don't typically value the interior designer, but he does because he doesn't want to get stuck making the selections with them that he doesn't get paid for and it dragging on the project and all the things. So, you know what? He's going to bill in 30 hours of interior design time, maybe now to his fee, to take that time off of his plate and allow that designer to upsell their furnishing services after. That's a random one, right? So that's what you bring to table number two. And then based off of that conversation number three is refining it. And it continues on because you also have to do the work in those partnerships. You cannot expect people to do the copy and get you integrated into the services. You really have to push those forward. And some of them are just relationship building for a long time. There is no problem, but you do see the value of building the relationship because they have such an extensive network. And it's more about the introductions you want to have made, inside of that circle. That's another way I got access to a very large account that, typically wouldn't provide access to the standard designer. So there's all different reasons, like Evelyn said, but coming back to it, it's the opportunity that you have to have those conversations. You have to go to the networking event and meet the people. Or you need to be, Evelyn could dive into strategies that if you don't have the time or you feel like you don't have the networking groups around you to join and start meeting people and asking for who you want to be introduced to, then there's LinkedIn, right? There's other ways. Evelyn, get into like some of these other ways that you help these busy designers make these connections.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone said to me, like, I get it, I know the value of networking and meeting all these people and da 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 da, but I simply can't for whatever reason, then we are going to look at ways that either you can do it virtually, digitally, or we can do it for you. And so I would say one of the biggest tools that we're using for that is LinkedIn. And that is simply because the search features are so specific. You can really look for exactly who it is that you want to talk to, and make those connections there. Then, good, better, best. If we're going all the way down the road to as far as we could build this strategy out, we're going to create those buckets of who those specific people are. Let's throw out the example of a client who says, I live and my service area is right near a big university. I tend to work with a lot of academics and professors and whatever. That's her special people that she loves to work with. Great. We can find those people on LinkedIn, either because they work at said university. We can do a search for that, or because they are in X industry with Y job title. I mean, this is really how granular you can get with your searches. Then you essentially have a short list of these people that you're looking to network with, AKA meet. It's, I feel like some people are very intimidated by the word networking. You're meeting them. You're talking to them. You're building a relationship with them.
When you are uncomfortable is when you grow. So you got to put yourself in a position of uncomfort and realize that if life is feeling really cozy, I hope you are happy exactly as it is, because it's not going to change. That feeling, and I know why so many of you don't want to do it. Like, it is uncomfortable. I will never forget, my heart racing in this room where I was like 24 with all these, 40 plus year olds. What the heck do I know about my business just yet? I really didn't, but that year was transformational for me. I don't have jitters walking into a big room of business professionals and introducing myself and having that 30 seconds, because every single week at 7 a.m. I stood up and did it every single week. And then all these scary faces become familiar faces. And then you have a community. And then you have people that you're building these relationships, and more introductions and more business starts getting passed, and the ball starts rolling. You stop your feet, you stop the ball. You stop talking, you stop the ball. And this is also what I say to people in the beginning of the journey, and these crazy ups and downs.
Yeah.
And these people come in, right? And so people who come in and they're kind of panicking a little bit, right? I get that. When's my next lead? When's my next job?
Yeah.
And so they're going on like business is slow and they're panicking. And I said, let me ask you a question. I'm assuming, were you just crazy busy? And they were like, yeah, we were just crazy busy. And I'm like, right. And that's why you're dead slow.
If this is like ringing a bell for you, go listen to the ebbs and flows episode, because it's literally everything it's about.
Yeah. When you are crazy busy, you've pulled yourself out of the business. All this networking, all this opportunity that we're talking about, just as Evelyn will always say, once, you start working on your lead gen, which is kind of where we're segueing to next, right? You start the opportunity train you yourself points people to all the visibility platforms, the website, right? And the social media foundation to back what you have been saying. And then you've created money for yourself. You yourself, through those relationships, have created more money. Now money pushes you to the next opportunity that you can open up, which Evelyn will get into next. I feel like that's a good segue to get into next.
Yeah. So in talking about all of that, digital networking, essentially that's what it is. Create your buckets, exactly who you want to be talking to, and then craft your messaging. What you're going to say to that academic professional or that professor who's your ideal client versus a builder in your network who would be a great referral partner for you should be different, has to be different for it to be effective. Another thing I'll say about taking your networking online is that you have to do more of it. Now it's a numbers game. When you're in the room with someone, looking them face to face and introducing yourself, you have 100% success rate that they have seen you and at least heard 5% of what you're saying to them. Yeah. Online, they either look at their LinkedIn and accept that connection or read your message, or they don't. They either click the link and do the thing and go, or they don't. So now it's becoming a numbers game, and you will have to expect to do more to get that same result as when it's you yourself in a room doing this in person. Yeah. You're going to have a higher success rate.
Yeah. And I pushed past what I wanted to say with those crazy ebbs and flows, but it's the consistency of that networking that gives you consistency in your project volume, and ensuring that you do not pull yourself out of doing that, even though you might not want to do it, even when the business is there. That means, trigger point, you need to start putting in some fractional assistant support to help you through those peaks and valleys,
Right.
and not have to say no, right? People only wait so long. That's just simply how it is. Until you have a really big name that backs you and there's no one else like you, it's just they're only going to wait so long.
Yeah.
And so, you need to do it. It's just it. You are the driving vessel to all of it. So, okay. So now we have money, Evelyn. We have more money on the table.
Yep.
And opportunity is consistently being driven by conversations, whether it's virtually or in person. Now that's benefiting SEO a little bit because there's all these conversations that are causing people to search these companies.
Yep.
Now I've got more money on the table. What do I do, Evelyn?
People are going to hate this answer, but it depends on you, your business, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you have available to you. So let's talk about it. Number one, it would, at least if you really took our first piece of advice and had a very simplistic website just for the purposes of networking and having somewhere to send people, now I would at least consider reviewing that the SEO best practices are there. SEO is a really, really long game, so that's not where I'm going to tell you to go first, but the best practices on your web pages, just to make sure that you at least have search engine visibility, are there. Let's at least get that kind of foundational work done so that you can, based on everything we're going to talk about next, start to do that organic, ongoing SEO work. And now it's not even just SEO, it's also for AI. Similar but different. But you want the foundation to be set so that you can go down that road and start that long, somewhat arduous journey. Okay. For the person who, again, really followed our advice and has been networking a ton, I would say the most untapped potential you have right away in your marketing strategy is email marketing. You already have a ton of connections, hopefully organized somewhat based on your marketing efforts, segmented to a point. Maybe you have a fully built out CRM. If so, great job. But you have emails in your network. And so that's a whole bunch of potential available to you to stay top of mind to these people, to continue making those reintroductions and saying what's important to you.
Super important.
Yeah.
We should tell the story
marketing.
real quick about my networking fails.
Okay.
Networking fails. Just the importance of the email list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really super important. Okay. I'm nailing step one. Junkie for the networking, I would say.
Nailing it.
Nailing it. I get addicted to the collection of business cards. I don't know, I'm weirdo. So I lock into, the visual stacks are growing. I'm collecting them. That feels like success to me. Evelyn comes in. I think we mentioned this on a different episode. Like, what are all these business cards? I don't know. These are all people I've met networking, These are all my events. These are all, look at me go. I'm succeeding. Like, what the hell are these things doing other than collecting dust? Yeah, nothing. And out of all these business cards, I think one random person, what's the I don't even know how many cards I had. I don't know if you remember. Okay, out of let's just say 1,000. I don't know. Quantify it.
Rubber banded stacks. How much is this? Look, anybody on YouTube, please tell us how many business cards this is.
And then we can quantify the stacks. But so, out of all these stacks, I had one person email me an insane lead. It was a $70,000 drapery job. Amazing. That really amazing. I don't know. Must have been very impressionable for this guy to save my business card and make that referral. But I put the trust of my opportunity into other people's hands. Very silly, very, very silly. Because a lot of these people I just met one time at random events. So what Evelyn is saying is she had to take all of those stacks, put them into an email list where she could fire out emails. And then from that, we had to figure out who these people were. At minimum, I would say, and override me if I'm wrong. You have 2 lists. You have your kind of general consumer list.
Yeah. We had 6, but I wouldn't say everyone would necessarily start there.
Right. So, on a minimum, you at least want to have your potential business affiliates, like all of those industry types.
All of your referral partners versus all of your
Right.
clients or leads that didn't close or people who could be your client in the future. Even if you're
Right.
just segmenting that way, you're getting way ahead of the curve because again, when you start to go into email marketing, what you're going to say to one group versus the other should be different. And the only way you're able to do that without hundreds of hours of manpower of typing out all these emails individually, which is not what I want for you. The only way you'll be able to do that is with your segmentation. And that happens hopefully at the point of meeting these people. So you don't have to do what Shayna and I had to do.
Right. Once a month, you could blast to all your potential business affiliates any updates, any new project releases, and here's a 30-minute Calendly link. I would love to reconnect and see what you're up to.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, right? You're just looking to make connection. As Evelyn said, it's nothing scary. It's building relationships. It's checking in with people. It's making sure they know you're relevant and don't trust people that you're going to stay top of mind for them because I hate to tell you, you're just not. So you need to do the work to stay top of mind. So, okay. Emails go in. Don't be like me. Don't collect the business cards that do nothing. That's very silly. And as Evelyn will also say, the value of this way down the line is that as you're building your list and you're ready, you crush it in the current process of just your standardized services, serial entrepreneurs get bored. I mean, it happens to me all the time. Like once something is cruising and I've done it over and over and over again, I'm like, I'm over it. Yeah. Someone else can do it. Moving on. Now you have this building foundational list, as Evelyn would say. When you want to launch this product line, do you want to have 10 people on your list or do you want to have 10,000 in your list from all the work you've been doing? So I know I stole that from you, but I just hear you say it all the time.
And the other thing I'll say too is the same exact thing goes on your digital networking side. Every time that you're connecting with someone on LinkedIn, either the conversation starts and you're able to ask them for that email address and get them in your funnel and make sure you're going and doing that data entry, or we can also use technology to pull those emails based on those successful connections, good, better, best, depending on what time and technology and subscriptions you have available to you. We can do all of those things as well so that all of the efforts that you're doing are fueling that email strategy that we're talking about. And I think a lot of people get nervous because we know like those brands that send newsletters that we go mark red, delete. And that's not, of course, what we're going for. So personalization is going to be key. And the only way you can make something feel personalized is by segmenting that list and really sending to the right people with the right message. Kind of work backwards from your call to action. What is your ideal action coming out of this email? I would really love all the builders I've connected with to get back on my schedule. Okay, now we're going bottom to top in that email. That's what we're working towards. So yes, I have new project photography or whatever that message is, but you're always crafting down to who is this and what do I want or need from them? Craft your message that way and you'll get that personalized feel that you're looking for, even inside a mass quote unquote email.
So the other thing, Ev, I think you're really good at this stage of the game, at least for clients we're supporting, because that consistency is key, is kind of repurposing those newsletters into blogs, right?
Yeah.
That are written around those keywords that people are searching so that, as you said, SEO is a long game, but you want to start putting that work in, and consistency is really key in that mid step. Yeah. So if you're needing support, we can definitely support you when you get to that bucket, because it's a common area people delegate. Once you fill up your lanes and you are already struggling to commit to the networking, which you cannot stop, then it's, making sure you pass over the social media, the newsletter, the blogs. And I know Evelyn will always advocate getting that Google listing updated.
Everything. Use everything you're doing everywhere, because that's going to make the most use of your time. So absolutely, if someone comes to me and says, I can delegate really minimally right now where marketing is concerned, great. We will repost that newsletter as a blog. You're updating your website. That's good for SEO. As we build, we want to be crafting those articles and content even more specifically for an SEO goal, but this is a really great first step. Cross post that everywhere. Use that on Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. Your ideal clients are not looking for interior designers on Instagram. Like, it's very DIY focused, but it will drive traffic to the website, and that does improve your SEO over time. So it's not a step to be completely skipped. It's just not where I'd spend the majority of your energy right now.
Yeah. And then really, we're talking about you being the driving force of opportunity and money being the second bucket of driving force of opportunity. So this just continues to layer. Yes, you want to go to this level of consistency for your visibility, but then money is going to switch you into a lead gen strategy where you're talking about lead funnels and advertising, and there's so much more that money can do with you. It could be podcasts like we're doing now. You know, there's so many avenues to develop that I don't necessarily think that we even have the time for on this call. And another thing we're going to dive into on another episode when we do get into really what your marketing content plan should be looking about is this kind of differential between using AI and not using AI.
Yeah.
When you start to put money in, you know, aligning that expectation there. So we will
and I
definitely
know
be
so
doing
many
that
designers who are getting really great at chat, and I love that for all of you. It's such a great shortcut. Use it for what it's good for, but please don't be publishing a chat GPT blog article straight to your website without a human touch, because AI knows what AI has written and it won't be serving you the way that it could be. So even if it's a minimal human oversight, come to 40Biz. We can do that for you in minimal time. It is very important. You have to be zhuzhing for it to really serve you the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get into paid advertising channels, which there's just way too much to talk about. So
I don't
come back to us.
Again, it's you are the opportunity. No one is going to create it for you. It is you. And if you don't like it, you better get used to liking it, because that is what business is. And as you drive and create your own opportunity, you are creating your own money. And then money allows you to create another lane of opportunity. And those two things go hand in hand, and they cannot stop. And the journey of money is monstrous on what you really should be looking at and tracking. So we will definitely get into that and all of the AI and all of the itty bitty integral things. But thank you for diving in, Evelyn, to some of those pockets of kind of the starting journey. And really breaking, you know, these typical norms of social media. If you're in the beginning, it is not your lead funnel. It's not your lead funnel. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. That is not where you are going to put all your time. You need to put your time into aligning with business professionals that are working with your ideal client. Period.
Unless someone comes to me and says, I want to be an influencer and be on camera all the time, and more power to you. Great, go for it. That's not what most
it's not where it's going to start. Either way, it's not going. Yes, start now, because it's going to take years for that to climb.
Yeah.
But it is not going to be the start of your lead funnel. If that is your goal and your vision, you need to start it now. But it is still not going to be your driving force of leads. It's going to be you out there building those connections.
Yep.
Well, we reached the end of today's episode. Whether you're just starting out, building your network, or figuring out your next move, remember, it's the conversations you start, the relationships you nurture, and the consistent action you take that opens new doors. Even when it feels uncomfortable, that's where the real growth happens.
No matter where you are in business, whether you're launching, growing, or planning your next step, remember, you have support. We're here to help you build your network, stay consistent, and achieve your goals.
Looking for more insights and practical resources? Join our email list at fordesignerbusiness.com/subscribe. We'll send you practical ideas and strategies straight to your inbox.
And if you'd like to talk through your business plans, refine your marketing, or just get a fresh perspective, schedule a free call at fordesignerbusiness.com or check the link in the show notes. We're always happy to connect.
We're also so excited to share that you can now leave us a voicemail with your design questions directly at fordesignerbusiness.com. We'd love to hear from you and might even feature your question on a future episode.
If you're enjoying this show, please help us reach more interior designers just like you by rating, reviewing, and subscribing wherever you listen.
And remember, you have the power to shape what's next, and we're cheering you on. Until next time, keep designing and keep dreaming.